Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on this video where I'm going to be going through the exact strategy, the exact breakdown of how one of our clients was able to do an 85K day for their eCom brand. I'm going to be discussing this a little bit reluctantly. I was kind of hesitant to reveal this strategy to everybody. We normally save it for our one-on-one clients, but I also want to provide as much value to the audience as possible. So hopefully you can really take this strategy and these nuggets of gold and utilize it to get some results in your own business. Just before we get underway, my brother and I started an e-commerce business from our kitchen bench that now turns over 500K a month. So with that experience and all that knowledge, we actually help other e-com brands scale their business. So if you're serious about growing your e-com business, jump in the Facebook group, book an appointment, and let's have a chat to see how we can help you out. All right, let's get into it. And so, look, the basis of this strategy is around what we would call creating offers to the market, presenting offers to the market. So something to understand in your e-com business, in your business in general, is that people want something new to talk about or new to look at. If you keep presenting the same offer to people, it gets really, really worn out and mundane. And this is what you might see in your marketing campaigns. You might see it, from ads from other people or other brands saying, I just keep seeing that over and over, and it loses its shine, it loses its impact. And so the whole basis of this strategy is around presenting offers to the market, to your customer base and a potential customer base. I relate this to car companies. I relate it to Apple with the iPhones, any product that you see successfully rolled out and continuing to succeed and evolve over time uses this strategy. And basically I've dubbed it the launch strategy. It's pretty straightforward, but it means presenting something new or in a new way so that it seems new, so that it grabs people's attention. Okay. And so with this launch strategy, where it can be adopted to our clients' brands and our own brand is by having a consistent strategy and structure around a yearly planner where something is presented as new, whether it is technically new or not, 6 to 8 times throughout the year. And so in the context of this brand that we're talking about, this client of ours, it is an apparel brand, a clothing company that has a very particular niche that it serves. And so they have found over their time in business that this type of method has worked the best out of anything else. And I'll go into the reasons exactly why, and then I'll go down to the exact breakdown and strategy that we adopted to get the best results that they could possibly get. In this case, an 85K day. And so along those 6 to 8 product launches throughout the year, it provides focus for a period of time and a deadline that people and their customers can actually relate to, and they can like sort of be aware of. It creates that urgency to basically succeed with an on the day kind of sales campaign, such as achieving 85K. I hope that makes sense. And so by presenting something new, as I say, it gives you a period of time to market. It gives you the deadline that it's going to actually launch, and then it gives you some petering off time. And then basically the cycle repeats. So it creates focus for those segments of time that you can run your business off of, basically, product creation. Then it comes into the marketing. Then it comes into, organic content, influencer content, paid content. And then basically the cycle starts to repeat. So it's very, very focused work rather than saying, oh, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? I'm going to pull something, out of a hat to make something kind of interesting. All right. So as I say, this is done for this client, particularly 6 to 8 times throughout the year. And it's for them, their specific purpose. It's around specific holidays. So call it Mother's Day, call it Easter, call it Christmas, call it, St. Patrick's Day. So specific days that work well for them and resonates with their customer base. And so what I want to do is provide some context as to how this works and what the keys are to the successful campaign that this client had run. Okay. So first of all, I mentioned before, consistency with their strategy. So they have been doing this for enough time to see consistency in rolling this out. And that's not only for their own internal purposes, but also for their external customers and clients. If they are consistently adopting this strategy, customers actually get conditioned, which rolls into point number 2. They're conditioning their audience. They have a very set way of doing things. So it creates a very easy to understand rollout of this launch strategy. And so over time, people get conditioned to this and respond better. People don't necessarily like surprises. We once learned early on that the key to a successful business is consistency in whatever you're doing. People just like things to be the same or similar in the sense of how they understand it and process things. So this strategy relies on consistency and conditioning the audience to that consistency. The other thing to understand is that this brand has been very, very good at optimizing themselves around one particular platform. In this case, it's Instagram for them. And so they have mastered this platform, absolutely mastered it. And their communications with their audience is absolutely second to none. The communication that they have with their community, because it's such a niche, is so strong that none of their audience or previous customers would go anywhere else. Literally, this business could launch anything and their customers would buy it because of the relationship they actually have with it. And so not only have they mastered it with this particular strategy, but year round, they've mastered this one platform. And that's what I would say to anybody who's looking to build relationships and community and all that sort of thing, is to master a platform, be the main voice and communication on one platform, and build your audience, build those relationships. And so that ties into that it's more than a brand to their customers. Over time, with the consistency, with the conditioning, this brand has been able to become more than that. It's an institution almost for their customers. And so these have been the key to their success. And what we've actually witnessed over time as we do these product launches throughout the year, that baseline of 85K in a day has grown and grown and grown and grown. Okay, it didn't start at 85K. It wasn't just like bang, there we go, 85 straight out of the gates. It was 10K for the first one. It was 25, it was 35, it was 45, it was 50, and then it was 85. Okay, and the next one will be 100. And so this is consistency over time that they've been able to absolutely master their market and their marketing strategy and this complete launch strategy. So those have been the keys to success. I won't, say that this is like a once-off thing that just worked. And that's what I advise, you to understand as well, is that doing something once doesn't mean it's going to succeed. In fact, it probably won't. But build that into your processes, get a consistency happening with how you actually operate and do things. And people will get used to that and conditioned to that and accept that. Okay. And you'll see some of the results in a minute about what impact this can actually have. And I'm telling you from, firsthand experience that this has achieved an 85K day. Okay. So they're the keys to success. Now, this is the exact rollout strategy. All right. I'll go into it in a little bit more detail, but this is basically it. The framework starts from 2 months out from the actual launch all the way to the official launch date. Now, as I say, this goes from like a 6 to 8 week variation with each actual launch, 6 to 8 launches throughout the year, right? So 2 months out, those in manufacturing would know, you have to get your products designed and ready and off to the printers. And so this is what this client does, as you all sort of know, and they ensure that they're happy with it. So in terms of their product lines, they basically have between 7 to 10 products. They don't try and reinvent too many wheels. They just kind of adapt with trends, with the theme of what the actual event is, and use their knowledge from what's worked well in the past to bring into this launch campaign. Okay, so they sometimes bring back ones that were really popular. They sometimes make variations of what was really popular. They change things based on feedback and comments from their customers. And they also actively engage their customers and audience as to what they would like to see in the next launches. And so this becomes a two-way communication, going back to our point of how they communicate with their audiences. They ask people what they want to see. They ask people what they loved about their products, what they necessarily didn't, what they want to see this season, this year. And that way people feel a part of the process. And that's that community aspect. When you feel part of the process, you're so engaged with what that business is doing that you'll buy it the second it comes out. That's the whole way that they've been able to position themselves and build the relationship with their customers. As we say, and we'll go back to, these customers would not go anywhere else. So year on year, launch on launch, they're building up their base of loyal customers. And so that, as I say, that 85 next year could be 150K day. Like, who knows? It could be that big, right? So 2 months out, that's what they're up to. They're planning it. They're planning their marketing. They're doing all that sort of thing. 2 to 3 weeks pre-launch, they get the photo shoot, professional photos. Make sure that they've got assets for the website, they've got assets for their socials. And at this point in time as well, they also have an influencer and ambassador program that they will engage those people to order their stock. Okay. And so I guess the secondary to this is they've got their own strategy, and then they've got, I'm not even sure what they're at the moment. They might have, 30 influential people and ambassadors that they are seeding product to make the launch even more appetizing and reach even more people within those networks. So that's a really big key as well to their success. It's not just the company talking about it, it's several other parties talking about this new product launch. And so what they do there is they handpick and send it to those people 2-3 weeks out, so that they can then create their own content and be ready for the launch day as well. They're under strict instructions not to actually promote anything or plug anything before the launch day. They want people to be excited and launch it on that specific time. And so that forms part of the method there, right? 5 days out. So this is normally the Sunday night. Their strategy is to always launch things on a Friday. And so Sunday night, they start to talk about the new products coming. They're on their socials, they're doing stories, they're doing posts, they're engaging with people, playing little games and guessing games, doing little reveals, saying exciting stuff coming, really engaging with their audiences to start to snowball the momentum towards the Friday launch. All right, that's 5 days out. They're announcing it, off they go. That's their content for the week. The week of the launch, so all throughout the week, they're doing their teasers, they're doing the organic, the influencers are starting to do little teasers themselves, and they are really ramping up activity now and getting that excitement bubbling, talking about 8 a.m. Friday, there's only limited supply, getting that urgency and that excitement happening, which, as we say, they're doing this consistently throughout the year, doing this every single time they launch something. And that's why it's so effective, so impactful. People are now conditioned to know that they are going to sell out of certain products, that they are going to be there on the day at 8 a.m. Okay. And so that's why this is working so well for them, and will continue to do so. So the week of the launch, everything's building, everything's ready to go on the website, hidden for now, but all the socials are happening and everything's kind of cranking. We're setting up the ads in the back end. We're getting ready for the big launch day. The day before, that's when they go live. They go into their socials. They are showing the fits. They're showing the quality of the materials. They're showing, best practices of how to wear their products, and getting people excited, seeing them in real life, seeing them on real people. This really gives people, again, that relationship with the owners of the business, and helps them to understand and get them excited about their products. They talk about, every business owner is so passionate about what they do in their product, or they should be at least, that they can talk for hours about these things. And so seeing that firsthand, again, builds that snowball of momentum and excitement towards the actual launch day. So they go live, they do the teasers again, they talk about the fits, they talk about when this would be best for, should you go a size up or size down, should it be loose or tight, whatever it might be. It's talking about the intricacies and really building that affinity and excitement for that specific product. And then the launch day, 8 a.m. They normally do it 8 a.m. on Fridays, but it's consistent every single time, even though they've experimented throughout their launch programs. It's consistent every single time now, and people know. So within the first day of this particular launch, they did an 85K day. because people know that things are going to sell out, but they have done that plethora of work beforehand to prepare them. And not just for this single launch, it was the launches before that and before that and before that that built to this 85K day. And so they basically sold out of most of their products, right? They have a lot more inventory, these days, but there are certain things that they genuinely only print a certain amount of. And so that is what is contributed to this. It's a very psychological thing with their customers, but it's also to do with how they have been able to build the relationship with their customers over time. People are always coming into the fold and seeing them for the first time, and they come into this amazing community that they have built, and they join the frenzy as well. And so that's how a sustainable business builds and builds and builds. And that's been the basic strategy of how to have an 85K day. As I say, this wasn't the first time they'd ever done this. It takes practice, it takes consistency, as we spoke about with the golden keys. But it really does condition your audience, and that you should be thinking in such a way: how can I create something new every 6 to 8 weeks? And how can I keep creating offers to our audience to keep it fresh and new? And so the way we actually added fuel to the fire was obviously with paid ads. We spoke about that, strapping on additional strategies to that. So paid ads and social ads and all that sort of thing, because, organic content can only go so far to their audience. But by doing that, we're able to bring more people into the fold. And by continuing to build their audience and their following, more people are going to be on board for the next launch. More people are going to be on board for the next launch. Their repeat customer rate is extremely high during these periods of time, around sort of 50, 60%, which is perfect to underpin their sales. But as they grow and that percentage continues to stay the same, it means more people are coming back, their audience grows. More people come back, their audience grows. More people come back, their audience grows. Their sales volumes grow with time. And so we're always looking for ways to add people to the fold and to the audience, to create ways that it's more than the product. It's actually about what the brand stands for, the community of people within that brand and that community. And, at the end of the day, people will buy what they're selling because of that feeling and that affinity they actually have. And so that's the real keys to this success, is the consistency and the conditioning and the relationship with their customers, that they are more than a brand to these people. And this was initially done, from the very, very grassroots, by mastering a platform and being able to communicate effectively with their customers and potential customers. And so, look, that's kind of all I've got time for in terms of how to explain this strategy. And I hope it actually made sense being laid out strategically like that. So I hope that really, really does help with your brand. But the bottom line, I guess, of this is the strategy works. Once you find a strategy that works, keep rolling it out and actually improving it over time. And your audience will build, your customer base will build, and your repeat customer rates, which drives your business forward because you don't have to pay to keep acquiring customers, will keep underpinning your business. So your gross volume and gross sales actually increases as well. And so, look, I really hope that helps. If you've got any questions about the strategy, feel free to drop me a message on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Happy to explain any further. But I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.